Hi, I'm Red Snapper and welcome to Project Nutmeg! The last weekend of October, we went to Puptopia Festival at Carpenter Park in downtown Dallas. It was held under an overpass because Carpenter Park extends under an overpass and they have a proper dog park under the overpass. We had an insanely rainy week, finally, after a summer of no rain, it seems. We had plenty of rain the week leading up to this rain or shine event. They moved most of the activities underneath the overpass. Things were just a little bit crowded under there, but they were trying to keep people and pets from getting wet, and they had a performance space and they needed to keep that from getting soggy. But there was a little bit of mud, so we dressed for mud. We wore rain boots, and the baby doesn't have a raincoat yet, so we carried her where things were especially muddy. And I wore jeans and a t-shirt, and so did Mr. Snapper because, well, we guessed we might get a little muddy, didn't we? So I'll tell you about what we loved and what we didn't love so that you can plan accordingly if you decide to go to a Puptopia Festival in future. It was a lot of fun. Every adult could bring a pet, a dog, that was leashed for the entire event unless they were going through the agility tunnel. And that had a nice level of safety to it, having all of the pets contained. I think that if we did this again, I would get her a baby stroller so I could push her around and I wouldn't have to carry her up here so much, because when she got scared, she wanted to be on my chest, a place of comfort for her since she was a tiny, tiny puppy. She just loves to live here and be comfy. So what we loved, there were lots of photo opportunities where, you know, you could take pictures of your dog by a giant fire hydrant or on these blocks with cute sayings. That was fun. There were lots of freebies, lots of swag bags. There were businesses promoting what they had to offer. You could win free things when they had a spinning wheel, like we won a free suite for Nutmeg if she wanted to stay at a certain boarding house. If we go somewhere and we want to put her somewhere separate from the other two, or we could put the other two there. I mean, who knows? But lots of free stuff. There were lots of vendors. We found some wonderful soft treats that everyone in our pack, all of the dogs, enjoyed. Those were fantastic. We also really loved the stunt dogs. It's the Canine Stars show. That was the big thing. We wanted to make it there in time to see, because since Nutmeg is a little performer, I wanted to see how they do it. And I've seen stunt dog shows before, but I wasn't watching the same way that I was watching this time. And I think the same goes for Mr. Snapper. We were watching for the craft of it all, not just, oh, look at the dogs do the fun things. And Nutmeg even watched part of the show. Thanks to the rain, we had front row seats. That was wonderful. We were just a few feet away from the dog that did like a tightrope or a high wire walk. And Nutmeg paid close attention to that as a dog who is into parkour. She really enjoyed watching that. And it was an amazing show. Big fans of the work that they do. We also learned something fantastic from watching the show. Each dog came out and performed for, I'd say, 1 to 3 minutes. Not a long time. They would come out and they'd hit it and do the work, do the work, do the work, and then they were off. And they got a break, and then someone spoke, and the MC talked about the dogs and the rescues and all of the experiences and places that they'd been, and then they would bring out a different dog. And that dog would perform for 1 to 3 minutes. They'd hit it hard and do their thing, and then they were off, and then a little more talking, and let's bring out another dog. So each dog didn't perform for like 10 minutes straight. They did little digestible attention-size bits. That made me feel really good that her debut number was all of 2 minutes, because she got to go out on the stage, have all of the energy, hit some major points in the act, and, you know, make cheesy faces, and then we were off stage. She got a break. She could relax. It wasn't a struggle to make sure that I had her attention for a very long period of time, like 15 minutes. I know people would talk about, well, burlesque acts back in the day were 15 minutes, and I think they didn't have cell phones or short form content to occupy other parts of their time. Their attention spans were a lot bigger then. So 3 minutes is amazing. Not mad at all about that. We also had the run of the place when we arrived, because it was still a little bit rainy. So Nutmeg got to basically trick or treat at all of the stations and get all of the pets. And she wasn't as overwhelmed by so many people and big dogs as she was when we got close to the end of our 2 hours there. So I like having the run of the place. I know they were trying to solve a problem of having people and pets get rained on, and that's why they moved things under the overpass. It wasn't as spacious. There weren't places to get away from all of the activity that you might find if they were able to expand to a larger space in the entire Carpenter Park if there hadn't been rain. Another thing that I loved was the pet spa. That was really cool. You could go in and paint your pet's nails if they would sit still for it. I have 2 dogs who would not sit still for such a thing, and I have one who would, you know, make unhappy faces, but he's a shrimpy guy and he can't fight back, so he'd wind up getting his nails painted. They had cologne, they had hair bows. We tried putting a hair bow on Nutmeg, but she's so wiggly, she shook it off. They had pet perfume. Nutmeg liked the spa because she could go up and down the stairs for each of the separate stations where you could pamper your own pet. So it was like parkour time for her. She really liked exploring. And you could also give your pet a massage. They would show you how to do a pet massage if you wanted to give your pet a massage, which I've done. I've massaged my pets before. I don't really have to do it right now because 2/3 of them are sleeping. But that was a really nice thing. I appreciate the chance to see so many vendors and to find out more about the different emergency clinics. They had representation there. We also saw somebody, I'm sure we saw him at Veg one of the 3 times we took Nutmeg. He was like, "You're kind of familiar." And I'm thinking, he is familiar too, but which time did I see him? Was it when she ate something she shouldn't have, when she broke her paw, or when she ate something she shouldn't have? I just couldn't place it. And they had little treat things here and there and giveaways, and that was really nice. Full-size treats. And somehow I managed to get cat food from one of these giveaways. I'll be sending that to my sister since she has cats that can enjoy those treats. So it's not a win for my house, but it's a win for her. And I can share those things with her. Things I didn't love. We showed up early, so we had the run of the place, but as more people showed up into this smaller space that was selected because of the weather, it became more crowded. If we had the run of Carpenter Park, as I believe they originally intended, before all of the rain, then there would be places to get away from people. We wouldn't have to worry about Nutmeg being underfoot or her being concerned about big dogs or dogs encroaching. She growled at a pit bull because it was looking at me. The dog was, harmless, but Nutmeg needed the space and she felt like I was in danger. She'll guard me in my bed though. If I am sleeping late, she will sit at the foot of the bed and growl if anybody comes near me. So I get it. I also did not love that there were people who didn't respect the rules of the game. The rules were keep your pet on a leash unless you are running through the tunnel in the agility park. Those are the rules. I recognize that they set up the agility course inside a dog park. It's a regular dog park. It's designed for dogs to be off leash. However, the rules of the game, keep your dog on the leash unless they're going through the tunnel. The dog was so big and Nutmeg is so small and she is a little anxious about big dogs. I didn't feel comfortable taking her in there to take advantage of that space. It's a dog park, I get it, but the rules on the ticket say a certain thing and we all have to follow the rules. That's what makes it a positive experience, positive experience for everyone all around. Hi, Coca. Another thing that was not my favorite, they had a crafting opportunity, and Mr. Snapper and I love doing crafty things, especially at events where they have a table set up. I don't care if it's for the kids. I want to try that thing. I want to play. The craft was a wood burning thing where you use a marker on the top of a wooden lid. You can create your own design or you can use their stencils. They apply a heat gun to it. And then while they're heating the top to get the design burned in, you get to go through a treat buffet and pick as many treats as you can fill your container with. Now, Nutmeg really liked the treat buffet, and a lot of dogs really liked the treat buffet, and I was excited to fill the jar. I was also excited to do the craft, and so was Mr. Snapper. Because the line was growing long, they thought it would help if they took our craft away and did it for us, not recognizing that we have made so many things since well before they were born. Honestly, like we were building sets while their parents were thinking about getting married. So I understand that they were trying to solve a problem. It was very frustrating because they didn't recognize, help somebody else in the line. We don't need the help here. We've got this under control. We know how to do it. And it seemed like it took a lot longer than it would have taken us just to do it ourselves. And in the end, the lid thing didn't work out well anyway. So we're going to properly wood burn it with our wood burning tool in our home because of course we have a wood burning tool. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't? But I appreciate they were trying to solve a problem. If you go to one of these events, these Puptopia festivals, we had a lot of fun and we were there for about 2 hours. If you go, prepare to get dirty because it's rain or shine. And you never know if your dog's going to want to put their paws all over you or want you to pick them up. And you wind up carrying a muddy pawed puppy on your chest for like 30 minutes before you get a break. I feel so bad. I put her down on tables at times because my elbows were sore from carrying her. Sorry. It's terrible. I had one other challenge too. Which was a personal thing. I have this really cool utility sash that has a spot for a water bottle and you can stick IDs in there, and I had the GoPro tucked in there. I did have my credit card tucked in there and my phone and all of these places for things, and I have her water bowl clipped on the side. It's a really cool thing. We saw them at, I believe, an actors convention where, oh, these people do headshots and these people do this, and you could rent a camera, and also you can buy this utility sash. I'm like, well, that's cool. Mr. Snapper got one for me. It was before we left Los Angeles. It's a brilliant idea for a thing. It's green, so it looks like a Girl Scout sash, which I still have my Girl Scout sash with all of its badges, right? Great idea, amazing idea. And I have the clip for the GoPro in here, and the GoPro, it's like, this is great. I'm gonna get so much footage of my dog when she's not riding on my chest to go through the event, when she's tired of walking or scared. It was made when phones weren't as heavy. So my phone would, in the pouch for the water bottle, I put my phone and it would pull things down. So then the place with the GoPro would move down. And then my phone would spill out because it had shifted. So like everything is falling out because it's not accustomed to the weight. And it's really a shame because it was a great idea, but it was not workable for the 2 hours that we were out. So many people picked up my phone and handed it back to me because it just kept falling out of the sash. So I think a fanny pack worn in the proper fanny way, or a fanny pack worn across the chest. That's what the kids are doing these days. Could nestle right there, and then I could shift it down when Nutmeg needs to be carried. But I think that might have been a better option for me. There was no way I could carry a handbag around in that, not with this little furry beast and all of the activity. So I'm disappointed in the performance of that item, which is not part of the Puptopia Festival, but it is a solution to a problem. And if you pursue something like that, you think, oh, this sash is going to be a great idea. Yeah, test it out before you take it to an event so that you don't have to worry about picking up everything that could potentially fall out of it, and you don't risk losing an expensive piece of equipment, whether that's your phone or your GoPro or your like platinum Apple card, or whatever you have tucked in there. You don't have to worry about it falling out. Stress test your stuff before you do something like this. That's what I have for you for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And have you been to a dog event where you could take your pet? What was it like for you? What did you like? What did you dislike? What do you recommend for the challenge of carrying things and managing your life as an adult at one of these festivals? I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments. And you'll see us soon. Bye.